Guild Wars 2 is a big game that many different people love, and over the years we have seen people express their love for this game by creating fan games, separate third-party games that aren't affiliated with ArenaNet or Guild Wars 2 but are inspired by and based on the world of Tyria that so many people love. And today I want to go through a variety of these fan games and highlight my top 10 favorite ones, so let's get started. In the number 10 spot is Skritt Coin. This is the first of many fan games created by That Shaman, a pretty big person in the Guild Wars 2 community who focuses on data mining and making helpful tools. You may be familiar with the historical guide to Tyria that overlays the Guild Wars map on top of the Guild Wars 2 map, but That Shaman has a variety of fan games that he occasionally releases on April Fool's Day, and I love every single one of them. Skritt Coin is a fantastic rendition of the classic roguelike mining games where you're digging down. You're trying to get as many points as possible, and you can find various chests hidden around with shinies in them, and the further down you go, the more difficult it becomes to navigate. Where I really like digging around and collecting the different chests to get different items, there are a variety of different items you can find worth a varying amount of points that have some fun flavored text, and ultimately, this is just a great game to mess around with and kill some time. Waiting for a world boss? Play some Skritt Coin. In the number 9 spot is Totally Accurate Balance Simulator. This is another one of That Shaman's games, and you will see a fun trend with all these games that they are a twist on some classic game types we are familiar with, but with the flavor of Guild Wars 2 added in, where this is a balancing game. No, we are not ArenaNet devs desperately trying to please every single player who each happen to have completely different opinions on one another. We are trying to balance blocks on this shelf and stacking as many as possible to get as many points as possible. We actually have a really fun option at the start of the game where you can pick your profession, and which profession you pick basically changes what the game looks like and plays like. You'll have some cool artwork in the background, and the different blocks will have skill icons from the different professions, but beyond that, each of the 9 professions have different gameplay elements, basically making the game easier or harder or just straight up different depending on the profession. Guardians, which happen to be the best profession in the game and coincidentally the traditionally most overpowered and loved by the devs profession in the game, is super easy. All the blocks are the same size, they come slowly, and you have a big platform. But if you play as a Mesmer, the platform is a bit smaller, the blocks are different sizes, and they come 2 at a time. Necromancer is pretty easy with some smaller blocks, while Engineer is absolute chaos as you just let your mech do some heavy lifting while you spam 2 abilities. Thief is fun where the abilities are a little hidden away in stealth, where Ranger seems to be a little slippery. Warrior has never been super fun, while Revenant is pretty straightforward like the Necromancer. And then, well, if you are an Elementalist main, I genuinely commend you. Downstate OP. In the number 8 spot is Rytlock's Critter Rampage. Now this is not exactly a fan game because it is officially made by ArenaNet, but it is a bonus game set in the Guild Wars universe, is pretty small, and is basically the same idea as everything else on this list, so I thought I would throw it in here. Where this is a game that some players may be familiar with from the original Super Adventure Box trailer, you know, the one where the kid goes, "Whoa, Rytlock Brimstone!" And it's not exclusive to the trailer. You can actually play it, and it is hosted on the Guild Wars 2 website, where this is just a classic 2D platforming game that actually has quite a bit to it. It's themed around Super Adventure Box as it originally came out around the same time and was originally made to promote it. You have a bunch of fun assets in here, including a rapid boss. Now, I'm not the best at 2D platformers, and I'm definitely not great at this game, so I haven't experienced too much of it, including the boss, but if you're someone who loves Guild Wars 2 and 2D platformers, I definitely recommend checking this game out because it is pretty fun to play through. In the number 7 spot is Flappy Bot. It's Flappy Bird, but you're playing as a Jade Bot. This is another one of That Shaman's brilliant games that is really fun. And I want to take a moment to give a special thanks because as I was originally starting to create this video, I was testing out all the fan games and I came back to play this game and Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, the game we talked about in the number 9 spot, but they were both broken. So I sent That Shaman a message and it was fixed, and I am genuinely grateful because not only can I steal content and make it my own, I can play these games again because I do have a lot of fun with them. But anyways, Flappy Bot. As I mentioned, it's Flappy Bird. There isn't too much to say in that regard. You are always falling, but you can jump to jump in the air. There are pipes you have to navigate through. If you hit any of the pipes or fall to the ground, it's game over. But beyond all of that, there's an additional fun element to this game where you can select 2 upgrades for your bots. You can fly faster, you can have stronger flaps. You can increase the space between pillars, you can reduce the space between pillars, you can increase the gaps in pillars and reduce them as well. You can make it so your bot can fall faster or make it so your bot falls slower. or choose a Super Saiyan Times Turbo mod that makes the game harder. Where depending on what upgrades you choose, you can make the game easier if you're a beginner, or make the game harder if you're more experienced, and ultimately there are just a lot of options that are fun to mess around with that elevate this already fun game. In the number 6 spot is Inventory Manager. This is yet another one of That Shaman's fan games, and this time we are taking a fun look at clearing games, where basically you have a massive board in front of you and you have to click on items connected to each other to clear them from the board. As you clear items, you make gold, and you keep going until every space on your board is filled up. So hypothetically, you could go forever and just get a ton of gold as a high score, but if you manage to completely clear out a board, you will get a new set of items to work through. You can adjust the difficulty of the game by changing how many different items there are, as well as the bag size. Where I always love customization options like this, so people can have a variety of different types of games and play with specific settings that they enjoy. I also love how each of the boards are themed, where all the different items are similar to each other. You have Black Lion items, Ascended crafting items, ore, leather, and so on and so forth. Where overall, this is just a pretty fun game, but for whatever reason, I get super engrossed in it. Where I just start playing it, keep clicking away, and suddenly a ton of time has gone by. Where I also often play this on my phone and would just be clicking away, clearing my inventory, and making a lot of gold in random places. And the number 5 spot is Guild Wars 2 Sightseeing. Now this is an interesting game because this is an add-on, meaning when you download it, you run it alongside Guild Wars 2, and you have a special overlay you click while in game. Where this is a take on the idea of GeoGuessr, the game where you need to figure out where in the world you are and get as close as possible to it. Except, since we are in-game, you are going to be physically running to that area of the world and lining up your camera with the screenshot you are given. And I think this idea is just ingenious. Guild Wars 2 is a massive game, and the world of Tyria has so many different locations that you can find. There are a bunch of different packs you can play, and you can try to find all the locations in each pack to complete them all, where there is quite a bit to do. A great part of this game is how people can make custom packs of their own, and then other people can play those packs and try to find those locations. Want to make a pack of exclusively Quaggan villages? You can do that. However, the downside of this fan game is that not too many people have done that. The developer, Matt Elphick, has made a few packs, and then there are a few additional custom ones on top of that. Because of that, you can run out pretty quickly, but ultimately, that just means we need more people playing this and making more packs so we can have more to do. But ultimately, I have a ton of fun whenever I play this, and I am very thankful that it exists. And the number 4 spot is Super Charrio Kart. This is the final of That Shaman's fan games that we are going to be talking about on this list, and it is my favorite, where I believe this is the original one of That Shaman's fan games. I remember this releasing and having so much fun with it and just playing it a lot. And with every subsequent April Fool's Day, I have had a ton of fun with every single one of That Shaman's games. And I don't mean this in any negative way whatsoever, but I am kind of sad that we did not get another fan game last year. I completely understand any circumstances for why there is not, but I love seeing the creative work of the incredible members of the Guild Wars 2 community, and I really hope we continue to see more fan games from more people moving forward in the future. Anyways, Super Charrio Kart. If you haven't figured it out already, this is a take on the classic kart racing games. Most notably, it would probably be one that I'm a little afraid to say out loud on YouTube. You have a few different karts, some are easier while others are harder, and then you have 5 different tracks, where each track is laid out differently. But I love all the decorations you can find in the tracks. In Ascalon, you can see the ruins of the human kingdom of Ascalon, as well as a black citadel and some other char buildings. In Krewe, you can see Divinity's Reach, Shaymore, the Wizard's Tower, and some other fun stuff. In the Shiver Peaks, you got a ton of mountains and can see some Norn buildings. In South Sun, you have a very tiny map without too many details. And the Mists is very dark and spooky with, yeah. But I just love the classic gameplay we can find here, and I absolutely adore all the different levels that you can play. In the number 3 spot is Escape from Rata Sum, where this is a pretty simple web game that I just find super fun. Where I believe this is one of the first fan games for Guild Wars 2 and was one of the first ones I ever played. For anyone who may not know, Rata Sum, the Asuran capital city, is designed in a way where basically the sides of the city are massive slides leading to the water and land below the city. Or if you fall off the side of the city, you can basically slide down the city. And a fun game that a lot of people like to do is to try to slide all the way down without getting hit by anything, and if you manage to do that, there's a fun secret where you get teleported to the prison in Rata Sum and will have to waypoint out. Where this is basically a take on that. You're sliding down the city and have to jump over obstacles. As you do so, you can collect some coins, and ultimately, you're trying to get as many points as possible. There's no end except death and beating your previous high score. You can play as a few different characters such as a Quaggan, Rytlock, Modo, a Skritt, Colin So Handsome, Johansson's Face, and a Golem. where I just love the simple gameplay you can find here, as well as all the different characters we can play as. And I love the idea of the game and how it relates to a game that players created inside of Guild Wars 2. In the number 2 spot is Guild Wars 2 GeoGuessr. Now I talked about Guild Wars 2 Sightseeing that was developed by Matt Elphick and is inspired by GeoGuessr. Well, before Sightseeing was a thing, we have Guild Wars 2 GeoGuessr, where as I mentioned, this is a classic take on the GeoGuessr game. You are given a photo of somewhere random in Tyria, and you have a map. Based on the photo and using your own knowledge of Tyria, you have to place a pin on the map from where you think the screenshot was taken from. You have to be accurate to the point of generally where the screenshot taker was standing. If you are spot on or very close, you get all the points, and the further away you are, the less points you get. There are a bunch of different options in this game where you can change the total amount of locations in the game. You can change how long each round lasts, so you can challenge yourself by having a limited time, and you can change how fast the image disappears. So you could play a game where you have a few seconds to look at the image, then have to figure out where you are based on your memory of the image. You can play some ranked games where you can compete on daily, weekly, and monthly leaderboards, and ultimately this is just a game that I love a lot. I recently played a ton of this on my channel, and I had so much fun in every single one of those videos, where I still continue to play this game here and there and still have a lot of fun. But now for the number 1 spot, for my favorite fan game in all of Guild Wars 2, and it has to go to Artifact Crew. I am going to be completely honest, I am not sure how I'm going to be able to describe just how incredible this game is, but I'm going to give it my best shot, because this game genuinely deserves any amount of praise from anyone because it is just incredible. I love every single fan game for Guild Wars 2, especially the ones I've talked about on this list. All of them are genuinely so fun, and each developer deserves the world for the incredible things that they have created, but Artifact Crew is on another level. Like, this honestly does not really feel like a fan game, and this feels like a game set in the Guild Wars universe that I would pay money in order to play. Basically, you start in the world as a member of an Assyrian crew. This is an open world game where you run around and explore the world with like things to do in the world, with like stuff to stand on, jumping puzzles, buildings. Like, again, this is a fully open world game. The graphics for this game are absolutely incredible. The art style is the same as Guild Wars 2, given the fact that it is based on Guild Wars 2, but is unique with its own fun, flavorful twist that I really like. There are a variety of puzzles around the map that you can complete, different NPCs you can talk to, different treasures with super fun flavor text that you can find, and ultimately the game is about finding those treasures. But on top of it all, there's a really cool storyline going on where you're trying to find Vix's laboratory. Vix, who is a minor character from the original Guild Wars, and I love when people take random characters from games and create a new piece of media that fits into the lore of the world and of that character, where this game does that perfectly. The landscape we are playing in, to my knowledge, is basically northwest of Rata Sum, and ultimately this is just a fan game that has taken a lot of creative liberties to add on to Guild Wars 2, but I genuinely hope in a future where we eventually explore this area of Tyria in a future expansion, there are some callbacks or references to this game, because the story is great and it fits into the world of Guild Wars 2 that we have been exploring. Like, it feels like I am playing a standalone Guild Wars game that basically focuses on a unique story while being set in Tyria, except it's a fan game. It was made by Krewe, an artist who's relatively active in the Guild Wars community, and aside from map artwork made by one other individual as well as some sound effects, the entire game is made by Krewe, which is insane. Also, sorry if I mispronounced your name. And I know I have been saying a lot of praise about this, but I genuinely mean it. This is probably one of the greatest things I have seen come out of the Guild Wars community. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I would love to see more fan games like this. And because of all that, this is my favorite fan game for all of Guild Wars 2. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed. I absolutely love fan games, and the ones that we see for Guild Wars 2 are incredible. There are so many talented people in the Guild Wars community that have done so many cool things, and I deeply appreciate all the different developers that have put time and effort into making incredible games that other people can enjoy. You can find the links to every single one of these games down in the description if you want to play them, and I heavily encourage you to do so. If you want to watch me play Artifact Crew or Guild Wars 2 GeoGuessr, you can find links to those on your screen right now. I hope you are taking good care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.